Okay, viewers, my name is Bruno, and on this, our first lesson, we want to study something about the introduction of how to play the piano keyboard. Actually, people think playing the piano keyboard is very difficult and very tedious, and also at times you feel lazy when you don't have a knowledge about it and you sit there and then they give you more insight, or they bombard you with a lot of knowledge about it which you don't even know how to go about it. But for this channel is going to help you step by step on how to play the keyboard, even if you don't have any idea about it. So our first lesson here, we are going to learn something we call the note names, the sharp and the flat. We are going to learn the the 12 keys and many more. So that is that for our first intro. So our first lesson is going to be based on these things, the note names. You get to know the makeup, the note names, the sharp and the flat, and then the 12 keys. Okay, so on this our first lesson on how to play the keyboard, we are going to learn about the fundamental factory. That is our first lesson, the fundamental factory. And the fundamental factory deals with the note names, the sharps and flats, whole step and half step, and the 12 keys. So for this video, we are going to learn the note names, the sharp and the flats, whole step and half step, and also the 12 keys. So on a brief study on this keyboard, the keyboard is made up of white and black keys. So as you can see, we have white keys, then we have black keys over here. So, and it's a repetition. The piano repeats itself over and over in groups of 12. So it repeats itself over and over in groups of 12. So for example, is in groups of 12. So as you could see, we have how many black keys here? This is the first black key, the second black key, the third black key, the fourth black key, and the fifth. So we have the 5 black keys over here, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 white keys. So it repeats itself with 7 white keys and 12 and 5 black keys over and over again. So from this white key to this white key, in addition with this black key and then this black key, which we are going to know what their names very soon, repeat itself over and over and over again. So you could see that from here to here, in between it, we have these 5 black keys, and it repeats itself again. So you could see that you could see the repetition from for example here, you could see that you have 2 black keys over here. So you have the 2 black keys, 3 black keys, making it 5. So in front of the 2 black keys, there is a white key that begins. So that is what we use in determining the 12 keys, which is repeating itself over and over. So the two black keys, which has the white key in front, is what we use to determine the beginning of our 12 the 12 keys, which is repeating itself on the keyboard over and over. So you could see here that here these 2 black keys, which begins with a which has a white key behind it, ends with the 3 black keys, which has another white key in front of it. So it repeats itself: 2 black keys, 3 black keys, white key in front of it, 2 black keys, 3 black keys, white key in front of it. So it repeats itself over and over again in 12 keys. So that is how the keyboard is made up of. So that is a brief makeup of the keyboard. Okay, so we are moving on, and we could see that theoretically in music, the alphabet, for you to know the note names of this keyboard, the keyboard, which repeats itself over and over again in 12 keys. Musically we used alphabets. So the alphabet we used to form the notes of the 12 keys, the alphabet we used to form the note of the 12 keys is the alphabet from A to G. A to G, and everybody knows how to recite the alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So that is the first 7-lettered alphabet is what we use to form the musical notes. The first 7-lettered alphabet is what we use to form the musical notes. So we have the A, the B, the C, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So the first 7-lettered alphabet is what we use to form the musical notes. And then the rest of it, we use some symbols which we will talk about it. So which we talk about it. So now, look, we want to allocate the first 7-lettered alphabet on our keyboard. We want to know where we can find our A, where we can find our B, C, D, E, N, O. So finding the first 7-lettered alphabet, we could see that from here, our first 2 notes. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to demonstrate it to you. Our first 2 notes, first two black keys here. You could see that the first 2 black keys, every first 2 black key behind it has a middle C, which is C. So the first 2 black key has C behind it, and the first 3 black keys has F behind it. The first 3 black keys has F behind it. So the first 2 black keys has C behind it, and then the first 3 black keys has F behind it. So now we have located our C and then F. C and F. So C is on the left of 2 black keys. C is always on the left of 2 black keys. These are 2 black keys. So it's always on the left of our 2 black keys. C is always on the left of our 2 black keys. And F is always on the left of our 3 black keys. F is always on the left of our 3 black keys. These are our 3 black keys. So F is always on the left of our 3 black keys. 2 is always, so you can if you don't want to, if you don't want to forget, you can use it to recite a poem. You can make it a poem and recite it. So C is always on the left of 2 black keys. C is always on the left of 2 black keys. F is always on the left of 3 black keys. C is always on the left of 2 black keys. F is always on the left of 3 black keys. So you can use it to recite if you want to. A simple way to remember these keys. So C is always on the left of 2 black keys. F is always on the left of 3 black keys. C is always on the left of 2 black keys, and then F is always on the left of what? 3 black keys. So since we have our C here, the note names, we have C, so it continues from in alphabetical order. So from C, where are you going to? According to alphabet, up to G. So we are moving up, we are moving round, and then we come back to C. So from C, then we are moving to D. From C, then we move to D. From D, then we move to E. From E, then we move to F. From F, then we move to J. From J, then we move to A. From A, then we move to B. In that order. Then you can see that C repeats itself again, because C is always on the left of 2 black keys. So C repeats itself again in that order. So it repeats itself. So C, 2 black keys. C is always on the left of 2 black keys. So you find your C always on the left of 2 black keys. Always on the left. It is always on your left. So on your left of 2 black keys, we have C. Then C, then you move to D. D, then you move to E. Then E, then you move to F. Then from F, then you move to J. Then J, you move to A. Then you end with B. Then it starts all over again. So that is the first 7-lettered alphabet which was used. And then we now know our C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Okay. Then this alphabet you can easily use the, how do you call it? You can easily, now we know that we know the white keys, because we see the first 7-lettered alphabet is made up of black and white keys. So that is from the top when we began. So we realize that now we are able to identify C, which is on the left of 2 black keys, and then F, which is on the left of 3 black keys. So then through that we've been able to name the alphabet in sequential manner. So we've been able to name the alphabet according to the rules of alphabet. So we've named the alphabet alphabetically, which is from C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. So from C, D, E, F, so we have been able to name our first 7-lettered alphabet using the knowledge of 2 black keys has C in front of it, and then 3 black keys has F in front of it. Which is 2 black keys has C at the left side, and then 3 black keys has F at the left side. So we've been able to identify this alphabet, and then we have named it. So we now know our white notes. All our white notes are named. We will come to the 5 black keys, which will make it 12. So we now know 7 keys, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So we will come back to the black keys. So we will know the black keys to their names, but we have to get to know some knowledge before we get to know them. So on this, you can use an erasable marker to write the notes on your piano or keyboard. You can use any erasable marker, so you can just be writing the notes. So since you know your C, you write your C over there. Any erasable marker. Since you have your F here, which is always on the left of the 3 black keys, so you just write your F over here. then you write your D. So C, D, then you continue in that order. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. So you just write it in that order, and you are good to go for identification of the white keys. So talking about the sharps and the flats, for us to be able to get to know, when we say sharp means to raise a tone, and then flat means to lower a tone. We say sharp means to raise a tone. Sharp means to raise a tone. So you raise a tone. Then flat means you lower it. So if you want to lower a tone, you have flatted it. So we use the term flat. If you want to sharp, or you want to raise a tone, you say you sharped it. So we use the term sharp. So anytime you hear of sharp in music or in piano music, you should know that we are raising a tone. We are raising a tone. And then anytime you get to hear about flat 2, you should know that it means that we are lowering a note. So flat is to lower a note, and sharp is to raise a tone. You keep that in mind. So we are moving on. Flat. So when we say flat is to the left, and then sharp is to the right. When we say flat is to the left. So if you lower it, if you are lowering something, it goes to the left. If you are lowering something, it goes to the left. But if you are raising something, it moves to the right. So this is your left hand side, and this is your right hand side. Your left and then your right hand side. So if you lower something, if you lower a note, you move this way. If you lower a note, it goes to the left hand side. So if you lower a note, it goes to the left hand side. But if you raise a note, it moves to the right hand side. So that is the sharp and the flat. So when you lower a note, you are moving to your left. When you raise a note, you move to your right. So you relate lower to left and then raise to right. So when we say raise a note or sharp the note, you are moving right. You are moving right. So you move right. So when we say lower the note, then you move left. So that is how it is. When we say lower the note, you move left. Okay, let's box on. So black keys have 2 names. The black keys, we want to name our black keys. We now know our white keys. We now know our white keys. We could see that we said earlier that the 2 black keys has, every 2 black keys has a C on the left, and every 3 black keys has an F on the left. It's compulsory. It's something that is there. You can't change it. Every 2 black key has a C on the left. Every 3 black key has what? An F on the left. Okay. So we've been able to find our notes for the white keys, which is a C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And now we want to find we want to know the names of the rest of the 5 black keys, the 2 black keys and 3 black keys, which will add up to the 7, which will make it 12 keys. So we want to know this. So for us to be able to know this, we should bear in mind that black keys have 2 names. Every black key that you could see, so these 2 black keys have 2 names. This first one has 2 names. This first one also has 2 names. This also, for the 3 black keys too, this also has 2 names. This also has 2 names. This also has 2 names. So every 2 black keys have 2 names. every black key, just keep it in mind that every black key has two names. Every black key, you can just be recited, every black key has two names, because if you have to have it in mind so that you are, if you are asked questions about it, you could answer it. So every black key, or all black keys have two names. Let's make it that way. All black keys have two names, which is a sharp. The names are the sharp and a flat. The sharp and the flat. So every key has two names, which is the sharp and the flat. So this key has a name with added to sharp and flat. So it has two names, which is a sharp and a flat. Let me raise it a little. So it has two names, which is a sharp and a flat. But it makes the same sound. It makes the same sound. This also has two names, which is also a sharp and a flat. And it makes the same sound. Coming to the three black keys too. This also has two names, which is also a sharp and a flat. This also has two names, which is also a sharp and a flat. This also has two names, which is also a sharp and a flat. So every black key that you see here, every black key, the two black keys and three black keys, each and every one of them has two names. Each and every one of them has two names. It has two names. So it has two names. So you should realize that if the black keys have two names and they are called the sharp and the flat, then they sound the same. Then for you to identify whether this is a sharp, what note is it, which makes it a sharp or a flat. We said that when we say sharp, meaning you are raising a tone. When we say flat, meaning you are lowering a tone. So this is, and we said every two black key has C at the left. Has C at the left. So this is C. C is on the left of the two black keys. So since C is on the left of the two black keys, immediate two black keys. If this is C, if I raise C to this black key, I have raised it because I'm moving right. If I go back, it's a different issue. But if I raise it, I want to know the name of this. So from C to the black key, I have raised it because I'm moving right. I am moving right. I'm moving this direction. So from C to this black key, I have raised it. So that is when we say, since I have raised it, we say C sharp. From C, depending on where I stand. So that is why we say it has two names. So its first name is from C to this black key, immediate black key. We say the first two black key. So from C to this black key, we say it is a sharp. So we say C sharp, C which has been raised, C which is moving right. So a raised note moves right. A raised note moves right. That is when it becomes a sharp. So C sharp. And at the same time, this note is since this note is called C sharp, and we say every black key has two names, we can say this note is also a D flat. Why do I say so? This is C, so C, we know that this is our C. We did it earlier. So we know that this is our C. This is our D. This is our D. So if you want to know the names again, you can pause the video and go back to and go back a little to know how we were able to identify our names for the white keys. So we are moving on. So now we see this is C sharp. Since it moves, C has been raised to a sharp. C has been raised to a black key, which makes it C sharp. Then if I come to, this is C, this is D. So if I come to D, then I lower it. I lower the note from D and I lower it. We call it, since I lowered it from D, meaning I'm moving left. I'm moving to my left. I lowered it. I'm moving to my left. So it's a flat. It's a flat. If you move to your left, you lower it and then it's a flat. If you move to your left, you have lowered the note. If I stand at D and I move to my left, I have lowered the note. At the same time, it is a flat. Since I've lowered the note, that note I lowered it. That note which has been lowered is called a flat. So if I stand at D and I lower this, I lower it to the one we said is C sharp. We call it now D flat because I lowered it from D to the same black key. So you get the same sound, but the name is in two folds. It's either C sharp or D flat. C sharp or D flat. I want to take my time to explain it very well so that you could understand it very well. So depending on where you stand, when you move to your right, you have raised it. So you use where you were standing. I was standing at C, and then I moved to my right immediately to the black key. If you want to name any black key on this note or on the keyboard, this is how we find it. You look at the major notes, the major notes which were used, the root notes which we know already on the white key, the C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So you use that to find your black key. So for you to be able to find this black key, I said earlier that you stand at C and you move ahead, or you raise the note from C to the black key. You have raised it, so we call it a sharp. So you use the note you were standing before and attach the sharp to it. So you call it C sharp. So C which has been sharped is called C sharped. C which has been raised, we have raised the note. So we call it C sharp. But if I stand at D and I lower the note, I come to my left hand side. If I'm standing at D and I come to my left hand side, I move a half step ahead, or just a short distance backwards to the black key. Then I have lowered it, so we call it a D flat, because I was standing at D and I moved backwards. I moved to my left, so I have lowered it, so I call it a D flat. But if you are standing at C, you call it a C sharp, because you have raised. You've made a step to the right. So it depends on where you are going. If you move to the right, you call your note the sharp. But if you were standing, if you are standing at D and then you move to your left, you call the C, you call the note a flat. So that is why this note is called C sharp or D flat. But it is the same sound that you will get. So this is C sharp. At the same time, it is D flat, but you get the same sound. So that is why we say every black key on this keyboard has two names attached to it, which is the sharp and the flat. So I have my C sharp. It's the same as D flat. So when someone tells you to move to D flat, it's the same as C sharp. It's the same sound. Now, if you want to know the next one too, you are at D. The next one is to the immediate of after it is after D. So from C, I move to C sharp or D flat. Then I come to D. Then from D, I move to, because I'm raising the note from D, so I say D sharp. D sharp. But this note is an E. So since if I lower the note again, I call it E flat. But if I'm standing at D and I move right, I call it D sharp. So D sharp or E flat. So this note is also D sharp or E flat. D sharp or E flat. This note is also, and we said earlier that this is C sharp or what? D flat. And this is D sharp or E flat. D sharp or E flat. Then you move to E. Then you come to your F, because there is no black key here, so you move straight to your F. Then from F, you name this one too. F, you use the same method. If you raise the note from F, you move to your right. From F, you move to your right, immediate right. You call it F sharp because you have raised the note. So you have raised the note, so we call it F sharp. F sharp. So if you lower the note from G, this is G, F G. So if you lower the note from G to the same F sharp, we don't call it F sharp, but we call it G flat. So it is called F sharp or G flat, depending on where it stands. Depending on where you are moving to. If you are moving to the right, from F to F sharp, you call it F sharp. But if you are moving to the left, you stand at G, so you call it G flat. So the same thing applies to the G also. The G to, if you are moving to the right, you call it G sharp. If you are moving to your left, this is A, so you call it A flat. So it is G sharp or A flat. G sharp or A flat. If you are moving to your right, you call this note, the last black note, you call it A sharp. A sharp, because you stand at A. A sharp. If you are moving to your left, if you stand at B, this is AB, so you are moving to your left, you call it B flat. So that is how come we call it B flat, because we lowered it. They were standing here and then they lowered it. So that is how come we say it's a B flat or A sharp. Okay, so we are done with the notes. So apparently, naming everything, we could say that this is this is C. So these are C. We say every two black key, you have your C over there. You have your C on your left. So C sharp or D flat, D sharp or E flat, E, F sharp or G flat, G sharp or A flat, A, B flat or A sharp, B, and then it repeats itself to C again, and in that order. So it repeats itself over and over and over and over again, over and over again. So then we move to, you should know this thing when we move to what we call the octave. When we say octave, octave is two of the same note that are 12 keys apart. So two of the same note that are 12 keys apart, which is called octave. So anytime you hear of octave, let's say I stand at C, then I stand at C, and then I come and stand at this C again. this is an octave. If I stand at D, then I stand at D here again. This is an octave. So from a lower, this is a lower C to a higher C is an octave. A lower D to a higher D is an octave. So that is how it is. So from C to C, D to D, in that order, C sharp to C sharp, C sharp to C sharp, D to D, E flat to E flat, E to E, F to F, they are all octaves. So that is the explanation. That's an example of octave. So when we say octave, anytime you hear of octave, meaning from C to what? C. C to C. Okay. Then we move to our half steps. We've been hearing about half steps and all that. When we say half step, what it is, or what does it mean? When we say whole step, what does it mean? But we'll talk more about it. We'll talk more about it on our next video. We'll talk more about it on our next video when we talk about half steps and then whole steps. We'll talk more about it. That is where we are going to know. We are going to know how to form some things and all. But we'll talk more about it. So on that note, when we say half step is from key to key. It's from key to key. Half step is from just key to key with no key in between. So half step is from key to key with no key in between. And then whole step is also always keeps a key with one key in between. So half step. So if I stand at C, then I move from C to C sharp or D flat. I move to C sharp or D flat. So I say C sharp because of where I am standing. I read the note. So from C, I move to C sharp. So if I move to C sharp, then this is called a half step. So this is from key to key. Key to key. This key to this key. So from this key to this key is a half step. From this key to this key is a half step. There is no interval in between. There is no key which we have skipped. We have not skipped any key. It is from key to key. But if I stand at C and I move to D, I have skipped one key, which is the C sharp. So I have skipped C from C, then I skip C sharp, then I come here. If I skip C sharp and I come to D, then this is a whole step. So a whole step always keeps a key with no key in between. So a whole step always skip a key with no key in between. So from C to D. So I have skipped this C sharp. I have skipped C sharp. So from C to D is a whole step. But from C to C sharp is a half step, which is key to key. So bear in mind. So normally we've been saying that 2 half steps is equal to one whole step. It's not really necessary, but what you have to know about half steps, because on our next video we will go more into it. When we say half step and whole step, we will go more into it. So half step is from key to key, and then whole step always keeps a key. Okay, so half step is from key to key. So standing from C, example, C to C sharp is a half step. C to D straight is a whole step. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and share the video for our next lesson on how to play keyboard and understand it very well. Thank you very much.